As a freelance writer, you only get one shot to make an impression. What if you get a really amazing client and then you make some stupid mistake because of which all your hard work is wasted and your client doesn't come back to you for more work? Has that ever happened to you? Hello everyone, my name is Anangsha Alamyan and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, as you might have guessed it before, I'm going to talk about the 3 most embarrassing mistakes that I made in my freelance writing career and all the things that you need to remember so you don't make these same mistakes ever again. Without further ado, let's get started. The first biggest mistake that I made while starting my freelance writing career was that I skipped meetings. So while having multiple clients, the issue is that you also tend to have multiple emails, which means when you get invited for meetings or any get-together sessions, there's always an invite on another calendar which is separate from your existing Google Calendar. And if you don't have that new Google Calendar logged in on your computer or your phone, there's a chance you might miss the meeting notification and you might end up skipping the meeting. Now, if it's some very high-paying client, you don't want to show a bad impression by skipping the meetings, right? So here are 2 things that I did which made sure I never skipped meetings. The first one was that I logged into all my Google accounts on my phone. Now when you do that on an Android or an iOS phone, the Google Calendar app syncs across all your Google accounts and accesses data from all your calendars, so that no matter which account you are currently logged into on your phone, if you have added all your calendars there, you are going to get a meeting notification and you won't miss the important meeting with your client. The second thing that I did was I signed up on this app called Motion. Motion is an AI-based productivity app using which you can add all your Google accounts onto your Motion calendar, and based on that data, Motion will make one single calendar for you on which you can see all your meetings. Motion also has a very cool Chrome extension using which whenever there is a meeting, you are going to get notified of it and you won't be missing that meeting. Motion is a paid app, but it has a free trial for 7 days, so you can definitely check it out from the link in the description of this video. The second big mistake that I did as a freelance writer was that I turned in my work without polishing it, which means whenever I wrote something, I reread it, I proofread it, I did all the corrections and then I submitted it. But when I do this, it's only based on my judgment, right? And my judgment might not be 100% accurate all the time because we as humans are subject to making mistakes and it's quite natural. So how do you avoid that? Now there are 2 steps that I run my articles through before completing all the editing and proofreading work. The first is that I run it through the Grammarly editor. Grammarly is also a grammar correction software using which you can check how accurate your sentences, your spellings and your words are. It also suggests some very interesting words that you can use as an alternative to the existing words that you use. And if you feel that these words are better, you can definitely accept those suggestions. Now again, Grammarly is also a paid app, but if you are a beginner, you can definitely start with the free version. They also have a Google Chrome extension and it will give you corrections across all platforms that you open on Google Chrome. So Grammarly is definitely handy and it's something that every freelance writer should most definitely use. After running the article through Grammarly, I also run it through the Hemingway editor. Now Hemingway is a free software by which you can check how readable your sentences are and how simple they are to read or skim for a reader. When you paste your article onto the Hemingway editor, you're going to see some sentences that might be too long or too hard to read, and based on what suggestions are given by the Hemingway editor, you can change your sentences so that they are better and it's more pleasant for the reader to read through. Hemingway makes the writer's job easier and I always wonder why was I not using this before, like what was I even thinking? The third biggest mistake that I made as a freelance writer was not gauging my target audience. Now when you're writing for a client and you talk with them through a meeting, you might assume some things about their requirements which might not always be true. So don't just rely on what your client tells you. If you know which website or which platform you're writing the articles for, do your research and understand who your target audience is. Now every writer doesn't do this. Most writers, they just rely on what their clients tell them, and that is what can separate a good writer from an excellent writer. So if you do some thorough analysis and research of who is going to read your articles, then you can set yourself apart from the crowd. Market survey is the one essential step that I currently do, which separates my work from the rest and makes sure that my clients keep coming back to me month after month. Summing up, here are the 3 biggest mistakes that I made as a freelance writer at the start of my career. Number 1, I skipped meetings because of too many Google calendars to keep track of. Number 2, I did not use Grammarly or Hemingway editor to fine-tune my article and give it a final proofread. Number 3, I did not gauge my target audience and ended up making some very silly but avoidable mistakes. How many of these mistakes were you able to relate to? Do let me know in the comments. If you are someone who loves writing and want to make it a career, but you do not know or don't have any idea how to find a high-paying freelance writing clients, then I have some very good news for you. I have made a detailed 90-day action plan using which even the most beginner writers can find a high-paying global freelance writing client who will pay you 4-figure USD for working only 5 to 6 hours in a day. If you want to know more about this, check the link in the description. Thank you so much for watching this until the end. If you know any writer friend who might benefit from watching this video, please do share it with them. And make sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on future updates. I'll see you again very soon with another brand new video. Until then, stay awesome and keep writing. Cheers!